I have been working in telecom for last 35 years in India, starting from ITI, WPC, then railways, then I was with TRI for 6 years. I also worked with British Telecom in India for 5 years, with Sterlite Technologies for 2 years, and for last 1 year I'm a independent consultant for various startups and multinational companies who want to set up their offices in India. And also I'm conducting training program on next generation network technologies and regulations all over the world under the umbrella of CTO, the Commonwealth Telecom Organization, and ITU, International Telecom Union. Presently, I am also the vice rapporteur for ITU-D for the question of broadband, next generation networks, and IPv6. So from my point of view, this Digital India flagship program of the country is a great initiative by the new government, which have now take it a mission to make it happen. As you know, the policy was already there also, but this government wants to make it happen, and that brings a great opportunity for everyone, not only for the Indian companies, but also for the foreign companies. But to make anything success in India, some very special requirement are there from technology front and cost front, and that calls for lot of innovation, something out of the blue. And for that, luckily, lot of technologies which can solve the problem of delays in the Digital India Backbone Project NOFN are there. One thing which I can mention is about the access technologies. As you know, as far as backhaul is concerned, the technologies are already matured, already there, and that is the fiber. But that is good as far as backhaul is concerned. But when you talk of access, and access means the last mile, that is to taking this broadband service to the end user or to the homes. For that, lot of new technologies have come, but to make success of a technology in India, what you need is the cost innovation. It's not just technical innovation, but the cost innovation, which mainly means that it should be very, very cost efficient, economically efficient, and it should cost less, still delivering the same services. And for that, like for especially from rural point of view, Wi-Fi is one such technology which is actually already ubiquitous. It makes use of the unlicensed band, hence you don't have to pay for spectrum. The any equipment these days, including the handheld telephone, like your mobile set, which are smartphones, and even TVs, everyone have a Wi-Fi enablement. So if the access is spread through Wi-Fi, so you can always reach any end user device, and that is what is required to be used. And as far as Wi-Fi is concerned, there are a lot of innovation. So what you need to use Wi-Fi as a last mile access is you need a managed Wi-Fi access network, not the unmanaged or best effort Wi-Fi. So, and for that there are different standards now. There is 802.11n is there, there is 802.11 AC, which provides more speed also, and also it can be managed. What you need a controller for the access points, which can be very cheap these days. It can be built in a small box which will consume very little power also. And because in the village it is not only the cost, the other requirement for any technology to succeed in rural area is it should need very little power, so that you can power it by battery and solar panels. So you don't need any grid power, neither you need a diesel generator. just a battery and solar power. That is the requirement. So those kind of requirements can only support a equipment which consumes very little power actually, so that the charging requirement is maybe after 2 days or 3 days only. And that is where these small miniaturized base station controller and access points can deliver. The concept here is what is called all IP network. So everything has to be IP, like backhaul is already IP. The content also has to be made IP, and IP means nothing but digitalized and packetized. So same way your access network including controller also should be digitalized and packetized. If everything is IP, then integration becomes easier, the cost becomes lower, the power consumption also is very low, and overall end-to-end management becomes easier and simpler, and you can manage it from remote also. So each village, if you put a base station and access points, you don't have to put a technical staff there in that village. Maybe from a district all these can be managed and controlled if anything wrong happens. What you need in the village is maybe like the role of a chokidar have to be made multi-skilled. So in addition to being the watchman for the total equipment and system, he also have to clean the solar panel, and also sometime he have to switch on and off, a very basic thing. Actually in the morning someone was mentioning about para technical staff. So your chokidar has to become a para technical staff. So he also have to do some little bit upkeep of the equipment, but in a non-technical manner with little skill. So you don't need a qualified engineer there in each village, because that is what we cannot afford. And with the NREGA kind of thing, I think someone like that can be always found and trained and retained. So that is what I thought can solve one of the problem of the country, to which is the missing link, providing access of the broadband to the homes and to the users.
Now, in your opinion, what could be some of the challenges that lie ahead in terms of realizing this dream?
Actually, challenges are not much, but what is required is just the execution. Actually, as far as policy is there, it is there, no problem. So there is no question of policy paralysis. As far as money is concerned, money is there. USO fund have 30,000 crore actually earmarked for backbone only, or the total Digital India project 1.13 lakhs crore is there. So no issue about policy, no issue about money. So what is lacking is the execution skill or the expertise to make it happen. So for that, actually you have to make use of all kind of expertise in the country. It should not be only left to the government. Actually best execution experts are actually in the industry, in the private sector. As far as policy making is concerned, the government may have the best brains, but when it comes to execution, the industry have the best brains. So those should be used here actually, so that you make it fast, you make it a time bound program, and with responsibility and accountability. So what happens, why the government is unable to execute fast is because they may have expertise, but they have no accountability. So if there is no accountability, you cannot hold anyone responsible if the project does not happen or if project gets delayed. But the same thing in the private is not permitted. So your job is at stake in private. So that is where government have to think of, that they should make use of the expertise available in the country, in the private sector, in the industry, who can deliver, who have the expertise to deliver, and they are given the responsibility as well as accountability to do the job. So that is the only challenge according to me. Otherwise there is no challenge to realize this dream, especially when there is a political will and when money is there.